Hi, in this session we will be discussing about applications of bio-nanotechnology. We will be focusing on the use of nanoparticles in the field of agriculture, medicine and environment. Mainly we will be focusing about the use of nanoparticles in agriculture. So let's see what are the use of nanoparticles in agriculture. These are the various uses of nanoparticles in agriculture. That is, they can be used as nanobiosensors, they can be used as nanofertilizers, they can be used as nanopesticides, and also nanoparticles can be utilized for soil remediation following biotic or abiotic pathway. We will be discussing these in detail. So, nanomaterials have many potential applications in agriculture, and these materials can be utilized for enhancing the productivity and also for maintaining or improving the soil health. We'll see how this can be done. First application is biological nanosensors. Nanobiosensors are next generation sensors, and they can be utilized to sense the surroundings. These biological sensors can be utilized to sense the physical or chemical properties of the medium in which the sensor is present. So biosensor is a hybrid system which consists of a receptor and transducer. So it's a hybrid system, and it consists of a receptor and transducer, and this biosensor is used to sense the physical and chemical properties of the medium in the presence of a biological or organic recognition element which is present in the receptor. So the physical and chemical properties of the medium are detected by a biological or organic recognition element which is present in the receptor, which is used to detect a specific annelate which is present in the medium. So using this biosensor, if we are utilizing this biosensor in soil, we can detect the presence of a particular annelate or more than one annelate present in the soil using this biosensor. And these nanobiosensors are more compact, and one of the major advantage of this nanobiosensor is that the annelate can be detected in ultra low concentrations. So even if the annelate or what we are trying to analyze is present in very low concentration, we can detect them using a nanobiosensor. And these nanoscale biological sensor can be used for monitoring and controlling of nutrients and also for food processing. And these biodegradable nanosensors combine both chemical, physical and biological tools. So in short, a biological nanosensor is a receptor transducer system, and it is used to sense the physical and chemical properties of the medium with the help of a biological or organic recognition element. And these sensors usually it consists of a biological compound such as a cell, enzymes or an antibody which acts as a receptor, and an energy converter which is able to report the changes in the surroundings. So in short, a biological sensor, nanosensor, consists of a biological compound such as cell, enzymes or antibody, and this biological compound is attached to an energy converter which reports the changes that are present in the surroundings. And these nanobiosensors are small sized or nano sized materials, and they provide signals to recognize particular elements, and they can be used to recognize either single or more than one annelate. These nanosensors can be used to analyze either single annelate or more than one annelate. So let's see what is the structure of a nanobiosensor in detail. So a nanobiosensor consists of a biological receptor or molecular recognizer and a signal transducer. So receptor transducer system, and this receptor can consist of an enzyme, antibody, nucleic acid, bacteria, cell, tissue or organelle, and this receptor is connected to a transducer, and this transducer can detect the changes which are present, that is it may be a change in pH or a change in heat or change in light or change in mass or change in the electroactive material, and these changes which are perceived by the transducer are passed on to a system or a computer where it is displayed as a graph or the report we can get. So this bionanosensor consists of two parts mainly, that means a biological receptor and also a signal transducer, and these receptors can consist of enzyme, antibody, nucleic acid, bacteria, cell, tissues or organelles. So these materials or annelate which are present in the soil react with the receptors, and the changes which are taking places are perceived by a transducer. Signals are transferred to a computer. So if more annelate is present in soil, more strong signal is produced. So what a biosensor does is that the interaction of the annelate with the bioreceptor, which identifies a stimulus, is designed to produce an effect, that is interaction between this receptor and this annelate will produce an effect which is measured by the transducer, and then this is converted into an electric signal, and this electric signal is the output from the transducer is amplified and processed and displayed using a computer. This is what a biosensor does, that is a biological receptor is present. It can detect molecules which are present in the surroundings, and these detection is transferred to a signal using a transducer. And if a larger amount of annelate is present, for example a disease agent is annelate which we are using, if larger amount of disease causing organism is present around the sensor, more strong signals are produced. So the strength of the signal depend upon the concentration of annelate which is present on the medium. And this nanobiosensor technology can be used for detection and rapid decision makings, which can be help in increasing the crop yield, and which also can help in sustainable management of water, land, fertilizers and pesticide. And this high surface to volume ratio of nanoparticles help in synthesizing of nanobiosensors which are having more stability and also have high sensitivity and longer life compared to conventional biosensors. So this technology can be used for increasing the crop yield and also for sustainable agriculture practices by sustainably utilizing the water, land, fertilizers and pesticide, and also thereby increasing the crop yield. And also another advantage of using nanobiosensors is that they have more stability and they have high sensitivity and also longer life compared to conventional biosensors. And these biosensors can be utilized for detecting soil or water pollutant. They can be utilized for detecting presence of pesticides in soil. And a major advantage of bio nano sensor is that in very low concentration they can detect the annelide, and they can be used to detect the presence of nutrients in soil. If any nutrient deficiency is there, it can be amended. And also disease causing microorganisms which are present in the soil can also be detected using nano biosensors. So these are the applications of nano biosensor in agriculture, that is they can be used to detect soil and water pollution, and they can be used to detect the persistence of pesticides in soil and presence of nutrients in soil, whether any deficiency is there, so that we can add extra fertilizers to increase or overcome that deficiency. And also they can be used to detect the presence of any disease causing microorganism present in the soil. Next is nano fertilizers. So if you are taking a look at the last 5 decades, there has been an enormous increase in crop yield, especially of cereals. And this increase in crop yield can be attributed to the use of chemical fertilizers. So the increased crop yield is a result of increased use of chemical fertilizers, and also the utilization of crop varieties which are fertilizer responsive. So these two factors has led to an enormous increase in the crop yield, that is using increased use of chemical fertilizers and also using crop varieties which are responsive to fertilizers. So these two factors has led to an increase in the crop yield. But there is a drawback for this use of chemical fertilizers. That is, drawbacks are that there is poor use efficiency. That is, these fertilizers which we are applying to the soil can be lost by voltaization and also leaching. So these chemical fertilizers has poor use efficiency, and also they can contaminate the environment. And third drawback of these use of chemical fertilizer is the increase the cost of production. So advantage of chemical fertilizer is that they can increase the crop yield, but the drawback of using chemical fertilizers in agriculture is that they have poor use efficiency, they can contaminate the environment, and also they increase the cost of production. So an alternative to this use of chemical fertilizer is the use of nano fertilizers. So due to these drawbacks, scientists have started trying to develop alternative strategies which ensure sustainable use of nutrients. And nanotechnology can be utilized as a method to overcome these drawbacks associated with chemical fertilizers. That is, nanotechnology can be utilized to reduce the loss of mobile nutrients and also to develop slow releasing fertilizers, and also increasing the accessibility to poorly available nutrients. So nano fertilizers are nanomaterials which are either nutrient themselves such as macro or micronutrient, or nanomaterials which act as a carrier or additive for the nutrients. So nano fertilizers can be divided into two categories. That means they can either nutrients which are used in nano size, or they can be nanomaterial can be utilized as carriers or additives for these nutrients, and these nano fertilizers can be developed by encapsulating nutrients in the nanomaterials. Either the nutrients can be applied in nano size particle, or these nanomaterial can be used for encapsulating the nutrients. In these two ways we can utilize nano particles as nano fertilizers. And these nanomaterials show an improved crop yield, and also they play a role in reducing the cost of production, and also it is more sustainable way of doing agriculture. So advantage of nano fertilizer is that they can improve the crop yield and quality, and also they can reduce the cost of production, and also contribute to sustainable method of agriculture. Next is nano pesticide. So pesticide as any chemical which is used to kill a pest, and it is a regular practice to use pesticides in commercial agriculture, and large number of pesticides have been screened every year. More than 1 million pesticide has been screened in 2009. That means in large number these pesticides are screened every year, and the amount of pesticide which we are applying to the soil, out of it only 0.1% reaches the target pest. Rest 99.9% remains as a contaminant in the environment, and this lead to serious consequence such that they can enter the food chain and affect the human health. So a drawback of chemical fertilizers is that a very less concentration, that is 0.1 percentage, is only reaching the target pest, and rest 99.9 percentage concentration is remaining as contaminant in the environment, and this can cause accumulation in the food chain, and thereby they can affect the human health adversely. And this use of pesticide in large quantity can also lead to organisms which are resistant to pesticide, such as weeds, insects or pathogen which have become resistant to pesticide due to continuous use of chemical pesticides in large quantity. But still we are choosing to use this pesticide. That is because the loss of life due to use of pesticide. So the loss of life due to use of pesticide, if we are multiplying it by a factor of 1000, that would be the loss of life if we are not using pesticide. So if we are not using pesticide, it can lead to life loss which would exceed by a factor of 1000 for each life lost due to pesticide. So due to this reason we are continuing to use pesticides, even though it has many drawbacks. And pesticide compared to chemical pesticide, they have reduced hazardous effect on the environment and also health of other organisms. And the limitation of biopesticide is that they are very slow and environment dependent efficiency against pests. So they are very slow acting, and also their activity against the pests depend on the environment in which we are applying the pesticide. So to overcome that, we are using nano pesticides. And the advantage of this nano pesticide is that they are degraded very slowly, and controlled release of active ingredient in the presence of suitable nanomaterial can offer an effective pest control over long time. So due to slow degradation of nanopesticide and also controlled release of this active ingredient, the control of pests can be done over long time, and also they are effective and sustainable management of different pests, and also they have the potential to minimize the use of synthetic chemicals. And another advantage of nano particle based pesticide is that they increase the solubility of an active ingredient, so that they are less harmful on the environment as compared to conventional pesticides. And they also help in conservation of water and also energy, and they can be applied in smaller quantity and in less frequently than the conventional pesticide. So they also enhance the pesticide efficiency and crop productivity by increasing the yield, and also have lower input cost by reducing waste and labor cost. So these nanoparticle based pesticides are released very slowly to the soil, and also they can act over long time period, so they need to be applied less frequently, and they enhance the pesticide efficiency, they increase the crop yield, and also they reduce the input cost. So nano pesticide can be an important component for sustainable agriculture. And there are also certain disadvantages associated with nano pesticide. The disadvantages are that they can cause health issues. Due to their small size, they can be readily absorbed through the cell membrane, and they can be translocated across the blood-brain barrier, and also they can cause environmental harms due to their durability and reactive potential. And also there is not much knowledge about the effects of engineered nanoparticles on the environment. These are the disadvantages of nanoparticles. That means they can cause health hazard due to their small size. They can be easily uptaken by the cells, and they can easily cross the blood-brain barrier. Then they can remain in the environment for longer time, thereby causing environmental damages. And also the long-term effects of these engineered nanomaterials on environment is not known. These are the disadvantages of nanopesticides. Thank you.